we see highs in the upper 50s maybe before we go into the next week.
All right, so let's finish this.
I'm Zach Krager, I'm just here.
He's our guest today. Hey guys, it's Van Underwood from HNHS Media, and I am proud and happy to present to you our brand new show, True North Television, or True North TV for short. You can watch it on YouTube at HNHS Media, and make sure to stay tuned for the boys basketball game.
we see highs in the upper 50s maybe before we go into the next week.
All right, so let's finish this.
I'm Zach Krager. I'm just here.
He's our guest today. Hey guys, it's Van Underwood from HNHS Media, and I am proud and happy to present to you our brand new show, True North Television, or True North TV for short. You can watch it on YouTube at HNHS Media, and make sure to stay tuned for the boys basketball game.
We see highs in the upper 50s maybe before we go into the next week.
All right, so let's finish this.
I'm Zach Krager. I'm just here.
He's our guest today. Hey guys, it's Van Underwood from HNHS Media, and I am proud and happy to present to you our brand new show, True North Television, or True North TV for short. You can watch it on YouTube at HNHS Media, and make sure to stay tuned for the boys basketball game.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to North Arena here at Magistrate Court. We'd like to welcome the Columbia City Eagles Nation. Just a reminder to you that there are no pass outs allowed this evening. Obviously, an emergency would trump that. I'd also like to let you know that the Huntington County Community School Corporation is a completely tobacco-free environment. We thank you in advance for your sensitivity to that. And now for this junior varsity matchup here this evening. From the City Eagles, junior varsity head coach Kyle starting lineup. First of all, on one guard, a 5'8" freshman, number 3, Tyler Wainwright. Also at guard, the Eagles, 6'1" sophomore, number 4, Eli Kreger. Also across the backcourt, 6' even guard, freshman, number 10, Owen Marshall. Across that front line, we have a 6'3" junior, number 23, Matthew Mulligan. And rounding out Coach Phillips' starters tonight, 6'2" sophomore forward, number 30, Cody Crawford. And now, ladies and gentlemen, here is Jacob Collins starting lineup for Owen Huntington North Vikings. First of all, at one guard, Michael Jennings, sophomore, number 3, Isaac Grab. Also at guard, 5'9", sophomore, number 5, Tony Decker. And a wing tonight, 5'11", sophomore, number 21, Sam Double.
Hey, man, you with the radio? How do you look up one of your old broadcasts? I was trying to listen to the Wayne game, like the guys did the Wayne girls game. How do I go back and listen to that? Where do I find that?
That's a Nathan question. What?
Where do I find an old broadcast? Like you guys were at the Wayne girls game, and I wanted to listen to your broadcast at the Wayne's girl game. How do I go back? It was not an HNHS media or nothing like that, because I know I can go back, if it's a film, I can go back if it's here, but how do I go back and listen to a radio broadcast?
I know Altman records everything. I think he records stuff.
Does he post it anywhere? I thought he had it posted somewhere like on your blog or something.
I don't think he ever posts them. I mean, I can
Well, find out if there's a way to go back and listen to your old broadcast. Can you do that for me?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'll see if we can even like start posting on YouTube underneath like a post.
Yeah, because I know I can go back on YouTube and watch it, but it's only the ones that are here.
Yeah, I think that.
I know there's something way to listen to the radio, go back and listen to the radio.
Yeah, I think that we could. Yeah, we can work something out.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Viking ball out of bounds in the backcourt.
They'll figure it out, right?
Hospitality Suite, the Viking Hospitality Suite here in Huntington North. And our thanks to Seaplace Pizza for providing the pizzas for home Viking athletic events. You know I love Seaplace. Curtis Springer and Wes Hodges report into the Viking lineup. Wes Hodges will be in the line for the Vikings. The Viking ball on the baseline.
picking my nose.
Mitch, get out.
You have to. Doing all right. How are you? Lee. Oh, no. It's, yeah, we'll say I got it fixed. There was nothing to fix. How about you and Michael get in front of it and smile? I'm sorry to that. It's crowd up there. It's like picking his teeth. There's a camera right there, man. That is the best basketball player.
Goff is the new football coach.
Pit theme. If it's blackout, you wear your black shirt, get in for free or $1 or something. Maximus! I'm not. We might have to go back up.
and the Ad Council.
The voice of the schools of Huntington.
Viking Radio.
91.9
WVSA. It's time for Huntington North Vikings basketball on your Huntington North Sports Authority, Viking Radio 91.9 WVSH. Before we head to the hardwood, we'd like to thank the following sponsors for making tonight's broadcast possible.
Bailey Love Mortuary. Phippus State Bank. First Federal Savings Bank. Hartburg, Roth, Garrett, Halberstadt, and Garrett Law. Nove. And Z Place Pizza.
Now let's head to the arena for the fast-paced action of Vikings basketball on your home for Huntington North Sports, Viking Radio 91.9 WVSH.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Max Rohrbach alongside Cameron Moore tonight as Coach Craig Teagle and his Huntington North Vikings take on Matt Schoss and his Columbia City Eagles. Columbia City being 8-5, while Huntington North being 4-8. The physicality is here, Cameron, isn't that right? Yeah. We have the height difference. The height difference is basically none. They're both two very similar teams, as we're going to hopefully this will be a good game here, as we have, like I said, not much height difference. Columbia City's guy being probably the tallest, being 6'4", and he's a non-starter. A lot of them are 6'2", 6 foot, and even under, as the Huntington North Vikings have Levi McElhaney, Cole McCarver, Asher Tupchowski, even Dalton Husband, who's 6'2", as Asher's a junior, and he's 6'4", I think, and then we have Levi, who's 6'5". So we have the little bit of height difference on them. So it all comes down to physicality of how much, who wants it the most, and what are they going to be able to do and come and get it. Who's the most mentally prepared for this basketball game?
Yeah, I think that's definitely the key for the game tonight. If we just feed the post, hit the bigs when they're open, don't make bad passes. Let's keep it a clean game, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Frankly, this comes down to who's mentally prepared, who can hit their shots, and who can contest shots the best here. As the turnovers especially have been a very, very huge role in this basketball game for the Vikings here, as they have well over 10 turnovers a game normally. And then that's something that Craig Teagle, he definitely does not love of that, as we have a total of 174 turnovers in the game, as our opponents only have 127 turnovers, which is not what you're looking to see. Not what you're looking to see, to say the least. We are at the Huntington North Vikings, are at 14.5 turnovers per game, which is definitely not what Craig Teagle's looking for in his Vikings.
Yeah, we still are 45th in defense average, though, so that's a bright spot in this Viking.
Yeah, absolutely.
Team.
Absolutely. But frankly, when it comes down to statistics, Columbia City is the superior team when it comes down strictly to statistics, as Columbia City's being, I believe, 134th overall compared to the Huntington North Vikings 200th overall.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's going to be a game that comes down to the fundamentals here. Is really what it is. Yeah, so it's definitely gonna be a little tough here, as I'm gonna send you to Craig Teagle and I's interview that I had just for the little bit of pregame and a little bit of time that I had left over here. So as I'm gonna send you to that real quick here. I'm Max Rohrbach here with head coach of the Huntington North Vikings, Craig Teagle. First of all, Coach, great game last game with a 50-48 victory over the East Noble Knights. Was it a nail biter, or did you just kind of pull away in that game?
Well, we led, 19-12 after one. We led 29-22 at halftime, and then they actually tied the game late third, early fourth, but then we went back to the lead, and we held the lead basically for the whole game, except they made a little run at us right at the end, and they actually had the last shot and a two-pointer that got contested, and we got the rebound. But, it was a game we kind of controlled, but yet they made a run at us. The other thing that hurt, we didn't shoot a free throw, and they shot 17 and hit 15, so we didn't get to go to the free throw line. That kind of hurts a little bit, but I thought the kids executed pretty well. We only had 8 turnovers, which is huge. Gave up still too many offensive rebounds, gave up 11, but pretty good floor game from all of our players.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, as you said, 8 turnovers, which is the gold standard, 10. And then you also had 16 points off of their turnovers. What can you tell me about that? Because obviously, when I'm looking at the stat sheet, sometimes it can be a little bit other way around, as I'm noticing, as it usually plays a very big factor in your game.
Well, we put Levi on their best player, 33. He was their leading scorer, about 21 or 22 a game, and I think Levi stole it from him 2 or 3 times, and we had a guy helping and doubling anytime that kid went to the basket. The Klein kid, we got a couple steals there. So kids follow the game plan really well. We wanted to hold him down, away from his average. He ended with 11. We got 3 or 4 steals off him. We're able to get in transition a little bit, hit a couple layups, hit a couple threes. So that's good. Easy points is always a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And then talking about Columbia City now, let's get a little transfer there. Then obviously their biggest guy is a 6'4" non-starter there. And then obviously they have one 6'2" guys, and many of them are 6 foot, 5'9". So what can you tell me about that? What's your game plan so far to keep them in the paint and not toss them out, or are you trying to keep them out of the paint and try and toss them out?
We're still trying to. We still want to make them shoot contested threes, not let them get to the paint area, because they are quick, they're strong, they're not real big, but they're really athletic. We're size-wise, we match up pretty well size-wise. We don't really have an advantage there, but we want to go inside. It's always our game plan to shoot a lot of twos, a lot of stuff around the rim. So, really when we look at the big picture, we'd like to have 2/3 of our shots from the paint area and 1/3 from 3. And then we'd like to make the other team shoot 2/3 of their shots from 3 and 1/3 from the 2-point area or from the paint area. So if we can do that, typically we win those games. We're able to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And then finally, what are some keys to a Viking victory?
Well, it goes back to the same things we've been harping on all year. We got to take care of the basketball. We got to have 10 or less turnovers. I know they'll press us to see if we can handle. They'll be in a 1-2-2-3 quarter-court trap probably. If we handle that, that'll be a big part of it. And then we got to keep them off the offensive boards. That's the other huge part. And we got to get to the free throw line some. We have just not been a team that got to the free throw line a lot. And those are easy shots, clock stop, So I think if we can limit our turnovers, keep them out of the paint defensively, don't let them split us, keep them off the boards, and get to the free throw line, we ought to be able to stay in this game.
Absolutely. Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Welcome back. As I said, I'm Max Rohrbach alongside Cameron Moore. As we're going to take a look, as I'm going to come back to Craig Teagle's interview in a little bit, we're going to take a look at some season and game box scores here. East Noble and Huntington North Vikings took it on last week as the Vikings came out on top 50-48. And as you can see that we had leading the team would have been Levi McElhaney with 14, Ethan Zahn with 11, Asher Chipchowski with 10, Zach Nash with 6, Wes Huff with 3, and then Tyler Carr with a pair himself. And then looking at East Noble and their Knights, you can see that Nathan Bowker led the team with that. Hunter Klein led the team with that with 11 points. And then we had Owen Ritchie with 10 points. Owen Vasquel with 8 points. Mason Hankins with 6. And then rounded up, we have Nathan Bowker with 5 points there. So as you can see, there's not much of a difference. Only a 2-point difference, as Coach said in his interview, that they had that last shot. They had an opportunity to tie the game and send us to overtime. But the Vikings defense just came down to contesting that shot and getting that rebound, like we said. We're going to take a look at a little bit more of a depth into the statistics. We can see that the Viking capitalized off of the Knights' mistakes, off of the turnovers. 16 points off turnovers, which is very, very well, as the Vikings are not used to that such of a differential. As East Noble only have 5 points off of Huntington North turnovers, which is something the Huntington North Vikings are not used to at all. So, and then honestly, you can look at the second chance points, which is usually a big deficit for Huntington North. East Noble had 10 points off of second chance points, and Huntington North only had 2 off of second chance points. However, you can see that one major difference was definitely the rebound ball in that ball game. As Huntington North had 10, and as East Noble had 20 rebounds, and Huntington North only had 10. So as the statistics are a little bit off, though. However, Huntington North's shooting percentage was just better. Yeah. Straight up, it was just better. That's what it comes down to. Hitting shots and contesting shots is going to win you ball games. Absolutely. And then we're going to take a look at the Columbia City game versus Huntington North. We're going to take a look at that in just a moment, as it looks like the starters are going to come out tonight. Cameron, what are some Viking keys to a victory here? How are we going to pull this off?
We just got to feed the post to the big men, and our guards has to be physical on the defensive end. we have not the biggest guards, but they're bigger than theirs. So our guards got to be physical. Our bigs got to be making those shots fall. And then I think that's the key to win there.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. Cameron and I are going to send you to a little bit of a break as the scores table plays the national anthem here.
One in 3 adults has prediabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your football buddy, your football buddy, or you, your best man, your worst man, you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Let's be honest. The National Symphony may not be in his future, but he wanted to try violin. So you said yes because you love him. And if you love him that much, love him enough to make sure he's buckled up and in the back seat. Find out more about keeping your kids safe in your vehicle at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat. Show them you love them. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
To some, the sound of a baby babbling doesn't mean much, but that's not true. They're testing out vowels and consonants and trying different sounds. And by 12 months, their babbling is beginning to take on meaning, especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Learn more at autismspeaks.org. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Here's that song again. Here's that song again. For the 100th time today. Here's that song again. It's gonna be stuck in your head all day. Here's that song again. It will make you cray, cray.
You love your kids enough to watch that TV show a bajillion times. Love them enough to make sure they're in the right car seat for their age and size. Show them you love them. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Hey, it's me, your cell phone. We need to talk about something serious. I know you love me. I know you like using me wherever you are, but I feel like this isn't working out when you're driving. I know you may think that it's possible to focus both on me and the road, but I just don't feel the same way. I think we should spend time away from each other when you're driving. It's for the best.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I apologize there as we had a little bit of technical difficulties trying to get back on air there for a minute. But as we can see, it almost time as Craig Teagle and Matt Schusch take on each other.
Yeah.
Take on each other as the Vikings and the Eagles. See who can come out on top. It's going to come down. The physicality is matched. It's going to come down to, frankly, who wants it more? Who wants it more? It's almost like you could compare it to a football game, as it really ultimately comes down to grit. It comes down to who wants it more and who is willing to do what it takes to come out with a Viking, to come out with just a victory in general. As we look like we are going to have the starting lineup for the Eagles come out first. As number 21, Caitlin Scott is out there. The senior is out there trying to get them some handshakes as they usually do here. As it looks like we have number 5, a 5'8" junior guard, Caden Kaufman. Excuse me, that is number 3, Stratton Fuller, a 5'11" guard. And then we have a senior, number 10, Andrew Hedrick, a 6-foot guard. And then we have number 14, Aiden Denning, the 6-foot junior guard. Then next up, we have number 22, Cam Hogue, the 6-foot junior forward as it's coming out here. we can obviously see that there's not much height there. As the tallest guy is 6'4", Tyler Crossan, and he's not even starting there. As the Eagles are just in there, maroon pants and maroon shorts with that little bit of tan lettering and tan numbers on it, as the lights in North Arena just went off like that as the phones are out, the phone flashlights are out, getting ready to cheer on the Huntington North Vikings as they take on the Columbia City Eagles. As we can see, it looks like we have either Brody Swadner or Eric Hosler out on that big H, prepared to give them their special handshakes. And first up, it looks like we are going to have number 33, Levi McElhaney, the 6'5" post center. And then we have number 4, Eric Hosler, taking a turn here in his decked out white jerseys with the red letters and the red numbers taken on. And he has that black black little elbow tape on there. Maybe that's just for a little bit of drip, as people call it, or maybe it is for some type of health beneficial. Then we have number 5, the 5'11" guard, Ethan Zahn. Next up is number 11, Zach Nash, in his all-white jerseys with the red stripe down the middle with a little bit of red numbering and lettering. And that is the third one in the Viking lineup. Next up, number 32, Asher Chipchowski, ready to take it on. And then for final, we have number 33, the star of the show, the point leader in this Viking lineup, number 33, Levi McElhaney, the 6'4" guard forward post. As it looks like it'll be number 10, Aiden Hedrick, and number 33, Levi McElhaney, taking the tip off as we have another 32 minutes of some beautiful basketball game to play. As the Pitt Huntington North Vikings are in white out tonight, hoping to find a way to get a victory here. And as the tip is up, it looks like Columbia City will take that, with Andrew Hedrick taking that on. We have Stratton Fuller, the guard, taking it down as he tries to make something happen. Back down to Hedrick. Out across on the wings, number 15, Rhett Wilson. Excuse me there. And then that is a shot by number 3, Stratton Fuller, and that is blocked. And that looks like it's going to be Viking ball, as that is out of bounds on number 14, Aiden Daniel. As Eric Hosler passes that in to Zach Nash. Back out to Ethan Zahn as he comes down the court on that big ol' NE8 right below the hoop. Ethan Zahn trying to cross some people up here as he passes out to Nash on the wing. Back down to Levi in the paint, and that one is good for 2. 33 for 2. And then now we have Hedrick, the guard, coming down here as he passes it back out to the corner to Stratton Fuller. Back out to Hedrick. Back out to the corner to number 22, Cam Hogue, as that three-pointer is nothing but net. And it looks like we're going to have Ethan Zahn take it down the court as he's trying to make something happen as he stands on that big H. Guarded by Hedrick. That'd be Denning. Back out to Nash. Hosler on the corner. Back out to Ethan Zahn on the wing. Levi in the post. Hosler tries to make a move with that 1-2 step, and that one is good for 2. As the score is 4-3, Vikings lead with 6 minutes, 40 seconds left to go in this ballgame. As it looks like it's going to be Fuller up top. Then we have number 15, Rhett Wilson, back on the wing. Back out to Fuller, trying to make something happen. And then back out to Hedrick as the pump fake. And it looks like we have a travel on Hedrick. That was forced by Asher Chipchowski. Levi McElhaney. And it looks like it's going to be Vikings ball on their bench. Passed in by Eric Hosler, back out to Zahn. Trying to make something happen here. Anything happen. Ooh, back at down low to Asher Chipchowski. Pushing it back out to Nash. Nash to Zahn. Zahn to Hosler. Hosler at the wing. And that one is put up as an alley-oop to number 33, Levi McElhaney, as he kicks it back out to number 11, Zach Nash, as he passes that back to Hosler out on the wing. And then back out to Nash in the corner. Corner for 3, and that one is no good. Off that, it is off the front in the back of the iron, and that will be Vikings ball as number 15, Wright Wilson, takes that one off the shoulder. Tough matchup so far with only 2 minutes of ball played. Hosser trying to find somebody. It looks like he may find Nash on the wing. Back out to Zahn on the big old H. It stands for Huntington right there. Back out to Hosser on the wing. Hosser trying to make something happen. As you can see, Ethan Zahn cutting across court, trying to get open. As he does find himself open on the wing. Back down to Nash. Nash to McElhaney. McElhaney with the lay-in. 4-2. 6-3 is your score with 5 minutes and 33 seconds left to go. And that's number 22, Cam Hogue with that three-pointer as they took it straight down the court there. And that one is no good by Cam. Zahn taking it up the court, guarded by Denning as he crosses his ankles not once but twice. As Hosser tries to take that in, that one is no good off the backboard for 2. And that one will be Vikings ball as that is off of 14, Aiden Denning once again. Like I said, Cameron, this is a game of how much do you want it? Comes down to physicality.
These Vikes right now are really showing that they want this game. It's very physical. The Huntington North Vikings 33 Levi McElhaney is using his strength here, and he really muscled that ball out to keep the possession alive.
Yeah, absolutely. It comes down to physicality and how much they want it. Ethan Zahn takes it back up to center court, and that one looks like it's going to be a charge on Levi McElhaney there, as that's going to be Eagles ball as Wilson passes it into Hedrick. Hedrick takes that ball as he is taking it cross court. Little shovel pass to Denning. Back out to Wilson. And that one is Wilson trying to dribble around, guarded by Ethan Zahn. Back out to Cam, and that one is no good. As that rebound goes to Levi, Ethan Zahn, once again, the 5'11 guard, taking it up the court as he tries to make something happen. And he is fouled by number 14, Aiden Denning. Looks like things are already getting a little chippy with only 3 minutes and 30 seconds into this ball game. As that cross-court pass, inbounds pass from Hosser back out to Zahn is good to Zahn. Zahn trying to make something happen as he finds Nash on the wing. You can see that movement by Eric Hosser just trying to get open. Nash hustles, but then he has to force to stop by Rhett Wilson and their defense. As it looks like it's going to be a 2-2 zone with number 15, Wilson, playing man on Levi. Looks like Asher Chupchowski's trying to make something happen as Levi McElhaney gets that rebound, puts that one up, 4-2 once again, and McElhaney with 4 on the night. As it looks like we have Fuller on the wing, trying to make something happen. Back out to Wilson. Wilson to Fuller. Fuller to Hedrick. Hedrick pump faking, guarded by Eric Hosser. Shot by Fuller, and that one is no good, and that one is a push foul on number 14, Aiden Denning. That one looks like it was a debatable tee-up call.
Yeah, it might have been a little unnecessary.
A little. Definitely was, but you know what? The refs are going to do what the refs do here. Ethan Zahn taking it across court, as it looks like Tyler Carr is going to sub in for Levi McElhaney. See what Carr can do here. Hosser trying to make something happen. Zahn to the wing, pump fakes. Back out to Carr. Carr inside, back down to Chupchowski. Chupchowski trying to make something happen, and he's no good on his 2-point attempt there. But as it looks like Denning coming down, back out to Hedrick. Hedrick to the corner. Back out to the center, down to the corner, and that one is going to be no good as Cam Hogue cannot take that pass from Wilson. As it looks like it was a little bit of a low pass. Looks like Columbia City's trying to blame each other a little bit, as we have number 38. Number
30.
Number 30, that
Hartman.
is? Yeah, number 30, Brady Hartman. Excuse me, we had a little bit of a match mix-up in our roster here. Tyler Carr takes that down to the paint, and that one hook shot is no good as Hendrick takes it down, guarded by Hostler, and the Vikings man-to-man. So he crosses him up as it is blocked. A foul on either Tyler Carr or Asher Chupchowski. As it looks like that one is going to be on Asher Chupchowski. As the shot attempts are going to be by Andrew Hedrick. Scores 8-3 with 3 minutes left to go in the first. As the first one is up, now it is nothing but net. Get a couple high fives from his teammates after that good shot. As Hedrick gets ready for his second one. Second one's up. Good. That one is also nothing but net. See if the Vikings can get something done, as it looks like Wesley Huff is going to go to the scorer's table to try and sub in, as Zahn takes it down the court to Nash on the left wing. Back out to Hosser on the center. And then tries to get it down low to Chupchowski, but that is no good. It's deflected by Cam. And then that one is off to the races to Fuller. Fuller in the corner, and that one is nothing but net, making the score tied 8-8 with 2 minutes, 30 seconds left to go. As Zahn tries to make something happen there. He's just dribbling around, see if we can find someone open. He eventually finds Carr on the right wing. And then back out to Zahn on the left. Excuse me, on the bottom one, as you may be looking on your screen on the live stream at HuntingtonNorth.com. Zahn here on the wing, trying to find someone. As he finds Carr down low, Carr trying to make something happen. He gets double teamed, and he gets out of that one. But that one is no good, as Hedrick takes that rebound. As that one is passed by Hedrick to what it looks to be Fuller. Fuller making a little gesture to the Columbia City bench right there. For a little bit of trash talk. You always love to see a little bit of attitude coming out. As Fuller's first one is up, and that one is good, making that a full and one.
Wesley Huff subbed in for the Vikes, number 21.
Zahn takes it down the court, back out to Huff, as Huff checked in for Asher Chupchowski. Back out to Nash center court, back out to Zahn on your top wing. It's Carr to the paint, back out to Hostler in the center, to Nash on the wing-ish corner, to Hostler on the other wing. As that pass is no good from Hostler, as he's looking for Tyler Carr, as he does find Andrew Hedrick, though. Hedrick to the corner for Aiden Denning. He finds no one. Back out to number 24, Tyler Crossan, as he subbed in. Steal by Wesley Huff, trying to get something. That looks like it's going to be a little bit of tussle for the ball. Ref getting in the way. As it does come out, Columbia City's ball. As it looks like Aiden Denning knocked that one out from Wesley's hands. And Aiden Denning on your right wing. Back out to forward, Tyler Crossan. As Hedrick tries to make something happen, he drives, finds nothing. As he passes it out back to Hedrick on the wing, that is nothing, and that is an over-the-back foul on number 30, Brady Hartman.
10th or so three for the Eagles here. They've only made 2 of them, 2 for 10. Not shooting the 3 ball very well this game.
No, they aren't. It looks like we have Levi McElhenney checking in for Wesley Huff. As it looks like we have almost all the starters out here. Now we just need to have Chupchowski come in for Carr. Zahn once again using his moves to make some jukes. As Hosser takes it up center court. As Tyler Carr gets pushed by number 14, Aiden Denning, but no call from the refs there. As we have Eric Hosser back out on the wing on top. Back out to Zahn on the opposite wing, cross court. As we see some really good movement from Tyler Carr here. As it looks like the Vikings are going to take last possession with a little over 10 seconds left to go. As Zahn takes it, and with a little 7 seconds to go, crosses out Aiden Denning. Zahn trying to make something happen to Nash on the wing. That one's up, and that one is good, as that's going to take us to the second quarter there, as Nash has 5, Levi has 4, and then I think Eric Hostler has 2, maybe 3. We're going to send you to a short little break here.
Here's that song again. Here's that song again. For the 100th time today, here's that song again. It's gonna be stuck in your head all day. Here's that song again. It will make you cray, cray.
You love your kids enough to watch that TV show a bajillion times. Love them enough to make sure they're in the right car seat for their age and size. Show them you love them. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
When might you be buzzed? When you suddenly love everything.
You guys, I love this song. I love these nachos. I love our kickball league. I love this guy. What's your name? You know what I'd love? A ride when it's time to head out.
If you see a buzzed warning sign, call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I love your car. Is this real leather?
And we're back as it looks like the Vikings are going to have Levi McElhaney, Asher Chowski, Tyler Carr, Eric Hostler, and Zach Nash passes it in this time as the Eagles are going to come out with Rhett Wilson, Brady Hartman, Cam Hogue, Aiden Denning, and it looks like it's going to be Max Fuller as they're going to give their starter, Aiden Denning, a little bit of break here. Strachowski tries to take that down, but that is off of the leg of Rhett Wilson. Inbounds tussle for the ball. Eventually comes up to Rhett Wilson. Oh, excuse me, I was wrong there as Hedrick is back in the game. That one is going to be a carry off of Hendrick. An unusual turnover that we see there from Hendrick, the great starter. As Hostler's back into Nash. Nash back down to Hostler as he stands on that big ol' H right in the center as he walked it down.
3 bigs in for the Huntington North Vikings. They're really trying to feed that post and get those post entries to score those points where most of their points have come from this game.
Yes, sir, as that one is going to be a foul on number 22, Cam Hogue. As we looks like we have Tyler Crossan checking in for Cam Hogue. It's Cam Hogue in a little bit of foul trouble here. He only has 2 fouls, not too shabby here. And Hostler back out. Hostler back out to Nash, excuse me. Nash down to Strachowski. Strachowski out to Nash on the wing, and that one is up, and that one is off of the front iron. As that one's going to be a foul called on Tyler Carr. As a tussle for the ball. Max Fuller gets that call there. As the Vikings are struggling, a little bit of struggling to make something happen with 50 seconds into the second quarter. As it looks like Hedrick is going to take it down as he's on that wing, signaling to Brady Hosden to do something there. As that one looks like it's going to be a travel, but it is no call by the ref. Back out to Denning. Denning to Hedrick on the corner. Hedrick to Denning. That one is good. Or that one is up, excuse me. That one is no good. As that rebound is by Levi McElhaney.
Another 3 for Columbia City. If they're going to try to stay in this game, they're going to have to find somewhere else to score.
Yeah, absolutely. As Hostler's taking that one down fast. Back down to Strachowski. Back up to Hostler. Hostler making something happen as Nash is getting a lot of movement, as you could relate him to number 30 on the Vikings, or on the Warriors, Steph Curry, as that one is up by Levi McElhaney. That one is no good. And it looks like it's going to be Brady Hartman taking it down, and Hendrick back down. And that one is going to roll on the iron, and that one is no good. And that one's going to be out on the Vikings. As it looks like Levi McElhaney and Zach Nash got in a little bit of fight for the rebound. Maybe Zach is slow to get up.
A little shaken up by that play.
Yes, he is. Hendrick with the inbound pass, and that one is no good again. And a foul on number 24, Tyler Cross, and that was going to be an over-the-back call, I believe, his second of the night, as it looks like Ethan Zahn's going to check in to Levi McElhaney. Excuse me, Asher Chowski. As it looks like we have Ethan Hubbard checking in as well. A little bit of a rare appearance coming in for number 11, Zach Nash, giving him a little bit of a break here. Hostler takes that one into Zahn. Zahn dribbling up the court as he is guarded by Hendrick now. As that one is going to be passed back out to Hubbard there. Hubbard to Zahn. Zahn for the shot, no good. Rebound by McElhaney. And that one is good. As Hedrick's trying to make something happen. Hedrick to Fuller. Fuller to Hedrick, back down to Denny. Denny up top as it gets deflected by McElhaney. Denny with the rebound there. As Brady looking for a shot, he eventually finds Tyler Crosman down in the paint as he passes it back out to Wilson. Wilson to Fuller. Fuller to Hendrick on the wing. Down to the corner, Hendrick goes. Back down to Fuller. Up to Wilson. As the Vikings defense are evidently superior as they take a shot. The Columbia City Eagles, that is. Brady Hartman with that three-pointer. As the Eagles lead 14-13, 5 minutes left to go in this second quarter. Zod making something happen. Excuse me there. Back out to Hostler on their bottom part of the screen. Back down to Zahn. Zahn was going to be a travel on Levi McElhaney.
Interesting call there.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. As Zach Nash comes in for what looks to be Ethan Zahn, number 5. As it's going to be Wilson into Fuller on the Eagle side. As it looks like Fuller's going to take that one down, back down to Hendrick. Hendrick trying to find somebody as he eventually finds number 14, Aiden Denny. Hendrick up top, down to the corner low, as it looks like Denny's going to go down as he gets stuffed, back down to Fuller. Fuller with the shot, that one is no good, but that one will be. 2 shots with the foul on Levi McElhaney, 33 on the Vikings. That is his second of the night. As it looks like Fuller's first shot's going to be up, and that one is good. Eagles so far are 100% from the charity stripe this evening. As Levi McElhaney checks out for Ethan Hubbard. Now the second one is up, and that one is no good, and that's a foul on number 24, Tyler Crossan. That's an over-the-back call there. Zach Nash in to Eric Hostler. Eric Hostler is decked out. White shoes, just the same as everybody else, with a little bit of black occasionally here and there. As Ethan Hubbard moving around the court, making Denny tired. Hubbard to Carr. Carr to Hostler. Hostler to Nash. Nash tries to find Carr as Carr gets in a little bit of trouble as he trips there and he throws one up, and that one's no good. As that one is eventually Tyler Crossan's ball. As he eventually finds Denning. Denning, Hendrick, and Wilson trying to find something happening with a little bit of Fuller mixed in there. Wilson down to, as it looks like it's going to be Brady Crosman. And that was an and one call. And that looks like that's going to send Tyler Crosman to the charity stripe. As that's going to be the Columbia City Eagles, I believe, 6th on the night attempt.
100% from free throws, too. Mostly taken by number 3, Fuller.
Absolutely, and that first one is up. That one is no good. Rebounded by Zach Nash. Nash finds Zahn. Zahn taking it out by that big old H right there. Nash a little bit beyond the wing. Passes it back out to Hubbard. Hubbard to Huff. Huff to Zahn. Zahn on the wing. That'll be the bottom of your screen if you are watching our live stream at huntingtonnorth.com. As Hubbard takes it on the center of the three-point line, just in front of the big H. Back down to Huff. Huff to Zahn. And that one's going to be a foul on number 30, Brady Hartman, as Zach Nash gets that call. That one's going to be a push call. Oh, that one is Hartman's second, as Hostler checks in for number 3, Ethan Hubbard. Ethan Hubbard is Zach Hubbard, last year's main point leader and starter. Zach Hubbard, excuse me, as the first one's up. That one is good, as it looks like the Vikings are in the bonus. As the second one is up, and that one is good, 100% for Zach Nash tonight. As Nash pointing to the Huntington North bench to let him know. Nash guarding Denning. Denning back out to Hartman. Hartman back down to Brady Hartman. Crossan to Hartman as he eventually finds Crossan there, as that's a debatable call. And that is no call there from the refs. As Hedrick trying to make something happen. Kicked out to Fuller. Fuller with that air ball and a foul on number 22, Cam Hogue. I believe that is on number 30, Brady Hartman, as I was going to send Wesley Huff to the charity stripe this time.
Wesley Huff will be in the line for the Vikes, shooting 1-1.
Wesley Huff, a relatively good shooter from the charity stripe. This first one's up, and that one is good. As it looks like the Eagles are lined up with just the regular starters that they had out, but adding Hartman and Crossan, taking away Hogue, and it looks to be Rhett and Hogue and Rhett Wilson. As it looks to be Hendrick is taking something, and that is a travel by Hendrick and a air ball on the after call from Aiden Denning. The Vikings have an opportunity to capitalize here, as the Eagles are frankly, but not frankly, falling apart, as the score is 17-17, a little over 2 minutes left to go, as it was 13-17 Eagles lead. Zahn making something happen here as he finds Huff in the bottom left part of your screen. Back out to Nash on the opposite wing, as Ethan finds Huff for a very, very tough shot and no foul call there, as Hendrick takes that down. Back out to Wilson. Wilson finds Fuller. Fuller to Hedrick. Hedrick to Hartman. Hedrick to Crossman as he finds Wilson. Wilson finds Hedrick. And that one's going to be a foul call on Tyler Crossan, his third of the night. That one's going to be on Viking foul. Zach Nash.
Interesting call there.
As Tyler Crossan takes his one-on-one from the charity stripes. First one up. That one is good. Columbia City being relatively successful from the charity stripe tonight. Second one's up. That one is good as well, making the score 19-17. Eagles lead. Minute 40 left to go in this first half here. Zahn finds Huff in the wing. Huff making something happen. Eventually finds Nash on center court. Finds Zahn on the opposite wing. To Hostler. Hostler to Nash, Back out to Zahn. Zahn with the pump fake as he drives. Takes it back out as he finds Huff on the center court. As it looks like the Eagles are having a little bit of lockdown defense. The Vikings maybe just get a little tired. As I said, it comes down to physicality. And let me tell you, the Vikings are playing with it. Nash to Zahn. Zahn with the three, and that one is no good off the front of the iron. Rebound, Hedrick. Hedrick to Fuller. Fuller to Hedrick. Hedrick with the three. That one is good. Zahn coming down the court. Finds McElhaney. That is Haas. Eric Hostler. Down to Zahn. Back up to Chip. Nash finds Ethan Zahn. Ethan Zahn trying to figure out the rest of the play clock here, as it is 10 seconds left to go in this first half. Zahn finds Huff. Huff finds Hostler. Hostler drives. And a little bit of a hook shot or a floater, and that one is good. And the full quarter by Hendrick is no good. As we're going to send you to a short little break here as first half just ended.
When might you be buzzed? When you suddenly love everything.
You guys, I love this song.
I love these nachos.
I love our kickball league. I love this guy.
What's your name? You know what I'd love? A ride when it's time to head out.
If you see a buzzed warning sign, call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I love your car. Is this real leather?
It's 4 a.m., Monday, and you're literally sucking baby snot through a tube because she's congested. Man, that's love. And if you love her that much, love her enough to make sure she's buckled in the right car seat. To make sure your child's in the right seat for their age and size, visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Show them you love them. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Hey, Dad, your prescription will be ready in just a minute. Hey, Dad, your laundry will be ready in just a minute. Dad, your lunch will be ready in just a minute.
Hey, honey, why don't you take a minute? When you help care for a loved one, you give them as much time as you can. But it's just as important to take time for yourself. AARP can help. Find free care guides to support you and your loved one at aarp.org/caregiving. That's aarp.org/caregiving. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
It's 4 a.m., Monday, and you're literally sucking baby snot through a tube because she's congested. Man, that's love. And if you love her that much, love her enough to make sure she's buckled in the right car seat. To make sure your child's in the right seat for their age and size, visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Show them you love them. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Man, I love my kids so much. I once sat for 3 hours in the cold rain to watch her soccer team lose by 18 goals.
I love my kids so much, I once used a tube to suck snot out of her stuffed nose at 3 a.m.
You win.
Love your kids? Love them enough to make sure they're in the right car seat. From toddlers to tweens, visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat to find the right seat for their age and size. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Jill, why don't you tell the class what you did this weekend?
Well, my dad and I went in search of some magical minnows and found a zillion of them in the stream from our lookout rock. Then my sister and I escaped from an evil slug king and went back to my super twig fort for safety. Then we told stories till it got dark, and the Big Dipper led us all the way home.
Wow. Where were you, Jill?
We went to the forest. It's not that far away.
Ask your parents to take you and your friends to the forest this week. It's closer than you think. Check out discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service
Back
and
live
the Ad
at
Council.
North Arena. Nick Altman alongside Cameron Moore. Max had a little bit of an issue, had to take off, so I'll be filling in here in the second half. Huntington North Vikings at halftime leading the trailing the Columbia City Eagles 22-19. Let's take a look at some first half stats. Leading the way for Huntington North is Levi McElhaney. He has 8 points on the night. He's 4 for 5 from the field. Zach Nash is 1 for 3 for 3-pointers and 2 for 2 from the free throw line for 5 points. And Eric Hostler, 2 for 3 from the field, 2 for 4 from the field for 4 points in tonight's contest. And rounding out the scoring for Huntington North is Wes Huff. He's got a pair of free throws for 2 points for the Vikings, 19 first half points. Taking a look at Columbia City at halftime, they are being led. The Eagles are led by Stratton Fuller, who is 2 for 4 from the field and 2 for 3 from the free throw line for 7 points. Andrew Hedrick finished the first half with 5 points. And Tyler Crossan finished the first half with 4 points. And Cam Hogue and Brady Hartman each finished with 3 points to give the Eagles their 22 halftime points. So the Vikings in that first half, definitely it's a physical contest. Cameron, what did you see out there that you liked from the Vikings in the first half?
I saw a lot of good physicality from the Vikes. Definitely going after those loose balls. Definitely out-muscling them at some points in the game. Getting back on defense was really well. Led them to two or three threes out of 10. So that's good for the Vikes there.
And definitely this Columbia City team came in very much physically the same size as Huntington North, but they're also a good shooting team. So the Vikings, trying to keep them from knocking down too many threes, they were able to hold them to looks like 4 for 12 from the field in the first half, while the Vikings, meanwhile, for three, they were just 1 for 5, but they were also 7 for 19 from the field for 36.8%. And from the free throw line, the Vikings were perfect, 4 for 4. Meanwhile, foul-wise, taking a look at foul trouble, the Eagles, Brady Hartman has 3 fouls in that first half. Tyler Crossan has 2 fouls, and Cam Hogue also has 2 fouls. So 3 players for the Eagles going to have to watch themselves a little bit here in the second half. Tyler Carr picked up 2 fouls for the Vikings, and Levi McElhaney, you were talking about the physicality of Huntington North diving after loose balls. Levi McElhaney was definitely one of those guys down on the block doing that. He picked up 2 fouls. Picked up 2 fouls in that first half. So he might have to lighten up a little bit, at least early in the second half, but still wants to maintain some of that aggressiveness. So about 4 minutes left here in the halftime. We're going to take another quick break. Again, at halftime, the Vikings trailing the Columbia City Eagles 22-19. We'll be back with second half action after this break.
Man, I love my kids so much. I once sat for 3 hours in the cold rain to watch her soccer team lose by 18 goals.
I love my kids so much, I once used a tube to suck snot out of her stuffed nose at 3 a.m.
You win.
Love your kids? Love them enough to make sure they're in the right car seat. From toddlers to tweens, visit nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat to find the right seat for their age and size. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Let's be honest. The National Symphony may not be in his future, but he wanted to try violin. So you said yes because you love him. And if you love him that much, love him enough to make sure he's buckled up and in the back seat. Find out more about keeping your kids safe in your vehicle at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat. Show him you love him. Keep him safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
We are the boy band. Your tween made you see. We are the boy band. It's Painful Concert number 3. We are the boy band. We're 5 and 19. We are the boy band. Always singing on key.
You love your kids enough to take them to see their favorite band. Love them enough to make sure they're buckled up in the back seat. Show them you love them. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Back live at North Arena. Nick Altman alongside Cameron Moore. Huntington North Vikings trailing the Columbia City Eagles by a score of 22-19 in this Northeast 8 Conference matchup. The Vikings looking to get a game above 500 right now, sitting in the middle of the pack in the Northeast 8 at 1-1 alongside Leo. They're also 1-1, but there's this cluster at the top and then also a cluster at the bottom. Norwell, Columbia City, and New Haven are all 2-0 in conference play, while Belmont, East Noble, and DeKalb are all 0-2 down at the bottom. Not going to get any easier for the Vikings necessarily from tonight. I mean, if they can knock off Columbia City, they'll have Belmont next week. So hopefully they can kind of get on a roll tonight with this. But first of all, they've got to come back from trailing by 3 here at halftime. Cameron, what do you think the Vikings are going to have to do in this second half to get back into this contest and get on top?
They might have to hit their shots a bit more. They're not falling the greatest for them. Definitely keep that physicality up. Definitely out-muscle them as the Columbia City Eagles get a little hard on themselves at some point, blaming on each other, just get their heads a little. Maybe they can get them to do bad passes, bad decisions, and get some turnovers from them, and get some points off of that.
And you mentioned, the way players respond to adversities. I've heard a lot of coaches lately talk about body language and how much that can mean out on the court. When things don't go your way, you almost have to have a short memory and get back on the other end and do what you're supposed to do. I mean, these guys practice day in and day out. It's almost muscle memory for them what they're supposed to do. But I agree. The Vikings had some good looks in the first half, including some down on the post. They just got in there and just couldn't quite get those to fall. So coming out onto the court for the Vikings, Asher Chipchowski, along with Zach Nash, Eli McElhaney, Eric Hostler, and Ethan Zahn for the Vikings. And taking a look for the Columbia City Eagles, it looks like Rhett Wilson got the inbounds pass and kicked it over to, excuse me, I couldn't see what number that was. Looks like that may
Number 10, Andrew.
That was
Hendrick.
Andrew Hedrick that missed that three-pointer, and the rebound came down to Huntington North. So down at the other end, Vikings trailing this one 22-19 here to start the second half. Ethan Zahn puts up a three-pointer, just rims off, and the rebound comes down to Stratton Fuller. The Eagles push it up now. They get it to Hedrick. Hedrick goes toward the basket, kicks it back out. Now back out top to Fuller. Down to the corner to Rhett Wilson. Wilson drives baseline toward the elbow and knocks down a 10-foot jump shot to stretch the Eagles' lead to 5 points at 24-19, just over 7 to play in this third quarter. Zahn tosses the ball over to Nash. Now back out top to Hostler. Back over to Zahn. Now Chipchowski doing some work down low. Kicks it back out to Zahn for a three. No good. McElhaney can't come down with that rebound. And now it's Hedrick pushing it up the court. Back out top to Denning. Denning's three-point from the top of the key is no good. Rebound comes down to McElhaney. Vikings try to reset, trailing by 5 here with 6.5 minutes to go in the third. Zahn looks down, gets it to McElhaney, top of the key. Now back to Zahn on the left side. Zahn tries to look low, but that was Hedrick, able to get a foot on it and knock the ball out of bounds. Vikings retain possession on this one. It's going to be Eric Hostler taking the ball out of bounds for Huntington North. Stratton Fuller guarding him on the inbound, and he gets it into Ethan Zahn between the circles. Zahn tosses it over to Chipchowski, still on the perimeter. Now back cross court to Zahn. Zahn takes a few dribbles out top to Nash. Nash figuring out where to go, surveying the situation, gets it to McElhaney. McElhaney now back over to Nash. Back to McElhaney down on the block, and he does a wraparound or up and under layup for the Vikings' first score of this second half, bringing the score 24-21. Columbia City still on top. Hedrick tries to drive in, almost loses it, gets it over to Denning. Now back to Hedrick, and Hedrick gets called for steps before he puts the ball on the floor. Gives the ball back to Huntington North with a chance to either pull within one or tie this one up, trailing by 3 points here. Under 6 left in the third quarter at this point. Zahn walks it over the mid-circle. Gets it over to McElhaney, right side. McElhaney feeds it down to Nash. Nash tries to take a couple dribbles and back down his defender, but a low shoulder. And Fuller ends up drawing the charge down low. Definitely sold that one and went to the floor in a hurry. Nash, not a tiny kid to be backing down, so definitely some contact there. So Columbia City's got it back. That's Nash's second foul of this contest. Now Hedrick shoots the three and rattles that one in to stretch the Eagles' lead 27-21. 5 minutes left in this third quarter of this contest. Zahn brings the ball up over midcourt. Working against Aiden Denning. Now over to Aiden Hostler. Hostler against Stratton Fuller. Feeds it down to Asher Chipchowski on the block. And Chipchowski gets called for steps. on the baseline. So another turnover by the Vikings gives the ball back to the Eagles. And it's going to be Stratton Fuller bringing this one across midcourt. Fuller goes to his left side, feeds it down to Hedrick. Hedrick turnaround, misses that one off the back iron. Rebound comes down to the Vikings. Zahn passes it across the timeline to Hostler. Hostler working on that right side, crossover, feeds it down to Chipchowski for a little bunny. He misses, but he gets his own rebound, puts it back up, and brings the Vikings within 4 at 27-23. 4:10 left in this third quarter. Fuller and Hedrick trading the ball around top of the key. Now over to Denning. Denning gets it back to Hedrick, top of the key, guarded by Nash. Now cross court, they get it to Cam Hogue. And back over to Fuller in the corner. They try to feed it down to Hedrick, and Ethan Zahn tries to reach in to knock that one away and gets called for contact. It's going to be Zahn's first foul in this one. 3:50 left. Huntington North trailing the Columbia City Eagles in this NE8 matchup. It's 27-23. And Zach Nash almost had a steal, but couldn't quite corral it before going into the scorer's table. Now Hedrick, top of the key, just pulls up for a three, misses off front iron. Rebound comes down to McElhaney for the Vikings. Ethan Zahn works this one across the timeline, gets it to Hostler. Now Nash in the corner, feeds it down to Chipchowski for a little baby hook. It's no good, and the rebound comes down to Hedrick. Hedrick, even though he's one of the key ball handlers for this Columbia City team, he's also one of their main post players down on the block. That's kind of how this Columbia City team operates. There's a lot of players who are all about the same height. They can all handle the ball a little bit. No true post player down there. And a foul called on McElhaney down on the block on a rebound after that Hedrick miss. Keeps the ball at this end. That's McElhaney's third foul, so he's going to go to the bench. Coach Teagle having a quick talk with him. The inbounds pass comes into Hogue, and as Hogue puts the ball up, there's an immediate foul on Tyler Carr, which is going to send Hogue to the free throw line for a pair. Vikings still trail 27-23, 3:06 left in this third quarter. Hogue's first free throw touches every part of the rim and falls in. Gets ready for his second one, eyes it, flies it, and knocks that one down a little more cleanly. Pushes the Columbia City lead to 29-23 with about 3 minutes left in the third quarter. Ethan Zahn between the circles, working against Aiden Denning. Now the ball's over to Nash on the corner. Nash decides to take a three after a little in and out, knocks that one down. And that leads to a timeout by Huntington North. Coach Teagle wants to maybe change things up a little bit, but that three-pointer very much needed by the Vikings. Closed that gap in a hurry from 29 or down to 29-26 with just 2:47 left in this third quarter. So Vikings right now just trying to stay within striking distance of this Columbia City team, not letting them get too far away. Not quite the physical matchup that we saw in the first half yet, but I wouldn't be surprised as this second half kind of bleeds on that maybe it'll get more physical closer to the end of the game, especially if the score stays close. Lots at stake in this one. Northeast Conference matchup. Huntington North 1-1 in the middle of the pack in the NE8. Columbia City at 2-0. Vikings trying to even the conference records with them. If we get a chance, we will try to find some scores from around the league elsewhere. Looks like also playing tonight. Looks like Belmont is at Norwell. East Noble's playing DeKalb, and Leo is at New Haven. So coming out of the timeout, Stratton Fuller has the ball for Columbia City. Over to Rhett Wilson. And now for a three-pointer from the corner from Clayton Scott. It was no good. That was Cam Hogue. Now for another three from Zach Nash, and he was caught on the wrist defensively, but no call. So the Vikings back on defense real quickly. Rhett Wilson drives in, kicks it out to Aiden Denning. Denning's three from the top of the key is good. Stretches the Eagles' lead back out to 6 with 2 minutes to play in this third quarter. Vikings now working on the far end. Zach Nash working on the right side, gets it out top to Hostler, swings it over to Ethan Zahn, who fakes a three, but keeps it. And now Tyler Carr feeds the ball down to a cutting Zach Nash, and Nash misses the basket. Back here on this end very quickly, Fuller misses a three for the Eagles, and now the Vikings have the ball back. Ethan Zahn walks the ball across the timeline for Huntington North. Zach Nash feeds the ball down to Chipchowski, now back out to Nash. Nash now to Tyler Carr on the elbow, back out to Hostler. Now Zahn has it. From the wing, Zahn feeds it to Tyler Carr. Now Hostler working down low. He gets a basket to drop, kind of an acrobatic shot in the air, backward with his side to the rim. Gets it to fall, makes the score 32-28. Columbia City still leading this one. So top of the key for Columbia City. Looks like they're going to bleed this clock the last 40 seconds of this third quarter. Andrew Hedrick, top of the key, near the mid-circle, kicks it over to Rhett Wilson. Those two back out by center court, just trading the ball back and forth. Now Fuller in the corner, back out to Wilson. Hedrick near midcourt again. Down to 16 seconds left in this quarter. Now Wilson back at midcourt. Wilson trying to figure out what to do. Gets it to Fuller. Fuller tries to drive to the basket on Nash and ends up tossing it out of bounds with 5.5 seconds left in this third quarter. So the Vikings going to get it back with one last shot to maybe narrow the gap a little bit before the end of this third quarter. So Zahn's going to inbound it to Hostler near midcourt. Hostler takes a few dribbles, couple fakes, misses the shot at the last second, and that's going to wrap it up for the third quarter. Huntington North trailing the Columbia City Eagles 32-28 after three quarters right now. With that, after the third quarter, we will take a quick break. You're listening to Huntington North Vikings basketball. Vikings trailing the Columbia City Eagles 32-28. We'll be back after this minute break.
It's time for today's STEM tip. Okay, you know recycling is important. No one wants plastic in the ocean. Here's a cool way to repurpose a plastic bottle. Build an awesome terrarium. Cut a large plastic bottle in half and fill the base with sand, pebbles, potting soil, and your favorite plant. I chose an African violet. Put the top of the bottle over your base and place it in the sun. Your plant will grow sealed in its own ecosystem. Fun, right? Learn more at She Can STEM. A message from the Ad Council.
Let's be honest. The National Symphony may not be in his future, but he wanted to try violin. So you said yes because you love him. And if you love him that much, love him enough to make sure he's buckled up and in the back seat. Find out more about keeping your kids safe in your vehicle at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat. Show him you love him. Keep him safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Back live at North Arena. You're listening to Viking Radio 91.9 WVSH. Huntington North trailing the Columbia City Eagles 32-28. Nick Altman alongside Cameron Moore for tonight's contest from North Arena. Back in action now. Levi McElhaney trying to work down low on the baseline. Tries to do another one of those little wraparound layups under the rim, but misses, but he was fouled going to the rim. Columbia City players not liking the foul call, but regardless, that puts McElhaney back at the free throw line. Vikings trailing by 4 in this one. And McElhaney hits a lot of the rim, but not the bottom of the net on that first one. So McElhaney has one more with the Vikings trailing 32-28. And McElhaney's second one also bounces around and no good. And there's going to be a foul called on Wes Huff on the rebound, right down on the block. So fouls adding up quickly for Huntington North. That foul that put McElhaney at the free throw line, foul on Clayton Scott, that was the first, or excuse me, I believe that was Hedrick that got called for the foul. That was the first foul on Columbia City in this second half, and Hedrick at the other end hits a floater in the middle of the lane to give the Eagles a 34-28 lead in this one. Ethan Zahn works it across the center circle, gets it over to Wes Huff. Huff gets it over to Zahn, who barely escapes with the ball. It was almost stolen by the Columbia City defender. Puts up a three, and it's no good. The rebound comes down to CC, and now Hedrick kicks the ball over to Stratton Fuller. Fuller works to his left, now back out top to Hedrick. Hedrick at the top of the key, hands it off to Rhett Wilson. Wilson dribbles toward the top of the key, between the circles, now tries to drive on Zach Nash, now gets it to Aiden Denning, and that leads to a timeout by Matt Schoss. So Columbia City timeout. Right now, Vikings trailing this one 34-28 with 6:48 left in this contest. Cameron, you and I talked about Huntington North needs to hit some shots to get back in this one. It's not like they're not getting good shots. They're just not falling in a lot of cases.
No. The Columbia City Eagles have hit some shots later in this game now to keep them alive, keep them ahead by around 6 points. Even when the Huntington North Vikings come back, they'll hit a 3, hit a 2, but Columbia City keeps just coming back with those 3s, 2s, hitting those jumpers now in the second half.
Yeah, it seems like just whenever it seems like Huntington North has kind of a run going, Columbia City has just enough to stave off that I guess any push that Huntington North has. So still trying to find some other NE8 scores from around the league tonight. As we said, Belmont is at Norwell. East Noble is at DeKalb, and Leo is at New Haven, especially that Belmont-Norwell game. That would be a good one to figure out what's going on, as well as the New Haven-Leo game. Those are two teams that are atop the NE8 standings with a perfect record in league play. So back in action now. Columbia City has the ball. Rhett Wilson kicks it out top to Aiden Denning. And Denning almost loses the handle, but regains it. Being guarded by Tyler Carr. Denning pushes it out near midcourt and gets it over to Rhett Wilson. Wilson works his way past Aiden Hostler, and a pair of Vikings trying to draw a charge. Levi McElhaney, it's going to be his 4th, it looks like. And McElhaney, with 6:21 to play in this contest, is going to have to go to the sideline for a bit. He's an important part of this Vikings team. He's aggressive defensively. He's got some length and can really wreak havoc defensively. But when you're aggressive, you're bound to get more fouls called. And he just tried to step in and draw a charge. Good intention, but couldn't quite get his feet set in time. So Ethan Zahn comes into the lineup, along with Zach Nash back in, replacing Wes Huff and Levi McElhaney. Rhett Wilson's first free throw was no good. His second one is up, and he knocks that one down. Columbia City now leads 35-28 in this contest with just over 6 minutes to play. Eric Hostler on the right wing, looking for somewhere to go, working against Fuller. And now down low to Tyler Carr. Carr spin move, drives to the basket on the baseline. Can't get it to fall, but he is called for the foul. Or excuse me, Tyler Carr was not called for a foul, but the Columbia City defender was called for the foul. That was Aiden Denning. That's Denning's second foul, and the second foul for the Eagles this half. Tyler Carr trying to drive baseline, does the same thing again, gets the kiss off the glass, and gets the Vikings up to 30 points. Still trailing by 5, though, 35-30. Just under 6 minutes to play in this contest. And say Hedrick drives it over to the left side, gets it out top to Denning. Denning tries to drive, kicks it over to Wilson for 3. That one rims out, no good. Rebound comes down to Asher Chipchowski for the Vikings. Ethan Zahn bringing the ball across midcourt. Crossover. Tries to go to his right and down the lane, but the defender steps in front of him and closes off that lane that he had. And Zach Nash trying to feed the ball down toward the block from the right side. Ball gets taken away. So back to the Eagles. Hedrick, right wing, cross-court pass to Denning. Now back out top to Hedrick. Hedrick over on the right wing now. Working against Hostler, kicks it over to Hogue. Hogue's 3 is nothing but the bottom of the net from the left side. Stretches the Eagles' lead to 38-30 with 4:40 left in this contest. Ethan Zahn brings it across the timeline, gets it to Eric Hostler. Hostler drives to the rim, finds himself open, so he thought. Hedrick was able to reach back with quick hands and get in there and disrupt that shot. Must have gotten a little bit of wrist because he's going to be sending Eric Hostler to the line for a pair. So Vikings trailing the Eagles in this one, 38-30. Eric Hostler at the free throw line. That's Hedrick's first foul in this contest, the third team foul for the Eagles. And Hostler's first free throw is good. Hostler getting ready for his second one. And his second one is also good. Narrows the gap to 6, but with 4.5 minutes left, it's getting down to crunch time for the Vikings. You got to get something rolling, hopefully get some momentum. And that leads to a Craig Teagle timeout. Maybe just kind of put together a strategy for the last 4.5 minutes of this contest. So with that timeout, we'll also take a timeout. You're listening to Huntington North Vikings basketball. The Vikings trailing the Columbia City Eagles. 4.5 minutes left in this contest. They're trailing 38-32. We'll be back after this 30-second break.
It's time for today's STEM tip. Okay, you know recycling is important. No one wants plastic in the ocean. Here's a cool way to repurpose a plastic bottle. Build an awesome terrarium. Cut a large plastic bottle in half and fill the base with sand, pebbles, potting soil, and your favorite plant. I chose an African violet. Put the top of the bottle over your base and place it in the sun. Your plant will grow sealed in its own ecosystem. Fun, right? Learn more at She Can STEM. A message from the Ad Council.
Back live at North Arena, Nick Altman alongside Cameron Moore. Huntington North Vikings trailing the Columbia City Eagles 38-32. Coming out of the timeout. Vikings looking to figure something out here in this home stretch. Maybe get a little bit of momentum going here in the closing minutes. For the Eagles, Hedrick bringing the ball up, or so I thought. He kicks it over to Rhett Wilson. And now back out to Hedrick. Hedrick on the right side, or left side, excuse me. Works it over to Wilson. Now back out top. Now Fuller. Hedrick tries to drive. Not a lot there. Kicks it over to Fuller. Now to Wilson. And Tyler Carr for Huntington North trying to be physical there. Just gives a little bit too much of a bump. That's the 7th team foul for the Vikings. So that puts Wilson at the free throw line for 1-1. So with bumps like that, I think Carr was just trying to maybe set the tone, send a message saying, hey, you're not going to drive on me easily. But just a little bit much in the officials' eyes. Moore makes his first. Now eyes his second one. And it is no good. The rebound comes down to McElhaney, who's back into the lineup for the Vikings, playing with 4 fouls in these final 4 minutes. Columbia City leading in this one, 39-32. Top of the key, Eric Hostler tries to drive. Nothing going there. Feeds it down to Tyler Carr. Carr tries to do that little almost spin move, but not quite. Side shot, layup. Can't quite get it. McElhaney doing some dirty work down on the rebounds for Huntington North, but can't come away with it. Hedrick bringing the ball up for Columbia City, telling his team, let's settle down. There's no rush at this point. So Hedrick over to Hogue, now back out to Hedrick. Hedrick tries to drive, and Hostler closes that lane. Over to Hogue, now back to Hedrick. Now Wilson, Hedrick top of the key. And I think Huntington North fans know this game. When you've got a lead late in the game, there's no reason to rush anything. I mean, you've got the lead. There's no hurry. You can use the clock as your ally. A shot from the corner from Wilson's no good. The rebound comes down to Huntington North. Now they'll see what they can do on the other end. Vikings trailing in this one, 39-32. Vikings trying to feed it down low. Nash trying to feed it down to McElhaney, just with the high post screen. And a lot of contact under the basket. Foul's going to be called on Fuller. That's his first. The 4th team foul on Columbia City. Hostler inbounds it. Zach Nash has the ball now. McElhaney back to Hostler on the left side. Hostler looking for somewhere to go. Forces up a shot down low. No good. And Columbia City comes away with the rebound. 2:20 left in this contest. Columbia City with a 7-point lead, 39-32. Andrew Hedrick trying to work the ball, gets it to Rhett Wilson between the circles. Wilson trying to drive, nothing there. Kicks it over to Hogue. Now back out to Wilson. Now Hedrick top of the key. Hedrick working against Hostler. Almost gets around him, but brings it back out. And looks like there's going to be a foul probably on Ethan Zahn defensively. And that's going to be Zahn's second, but that's going to put Andrew Hedrick at the free throw line. Zahn just playing defense, gets his legs a little bit locked up with Hedrick. Hedrick's first free throw rattles around and in. 1:52 left in this contest. And Chipchowski's coming in for Tyler Carr for the Vikings. Hedrick still has one more at the free throw line. Second one is up and no good. And the rebound is knocked around a little bit, and it looks like it was last touched by a Columbia City player. I believe that was Aiden Denning, who was able to get up in the air and kind of flip it out toward the sideline. It goes out of bounds. So the Vikings get possession. Ethan Zahn gets it to Eric Hostler, Hostler drives baseline and can't get that one to fall. And it looks like Andrew Hedrick came down a little bit awkwardly on that rebound, trying to walk it off. Not sure if it was his knee or his ankle, but he does have a wrap just below his ankle, or his knee, So it may have just landed a little awkwardly trying to walk that one off, because I'm sure he doesn't want to leave this contest. Officials trying to take care of some perspiration on the court down under the basket. So Columbia City, Wilson inbounds it to Stratton Fuller, now back to Wilson. Now Hedrick. Working it all the way up the court to Fuller, who kind of a crazy sequence of events here. It was a long pass up the court to Fuller. Fuller couldn't quite handle it because McElhaney got a hand on it, almost knocked it out of bounds. And as he was chasing it, went flying into the water cooler near the Columbia City bench. Seeing the disarray, looks like the Columbia City coach, Matt Schaus, decided he wanted to settle his players down. He calls a timeout. So with 1:19 left in this contest, the Columbia City Eagles lead the Huntington North Vikings 40-32. And right now, the Vikings trying to figure out what they can do. It just seems like they can't quite get over that hump in this contest. Anytime they've gotten close or had an opportunity, the basket just doesn't, or the ball just doesn't drop through the basket for them. At that other end, Hostler tried to drive baseline, had a close layup, and just didn't quite have enough on it to get it above the rim, so it didn't fall. Now, Columbia City with possession. Looks like it's going to be Rhett Wilson inbounding the ball near their own bench. Eagles leading this one 40-32, 1:19 left in this contest. A really quick foul by Ethan Hubbard is going to put Andrew Hedrick at the free throw line with 1:18 left in the game. Only 1 second ticked off the clock in that one, on that possession. And now Ethan Zahn checks back in. It looks like Ethan Hubbard was in for defensive purposes only. Hedrick's first free throw, nothing but the bottom of the net. Hedrick with one more free throw, looking to stretch this lead to 10 points. That's the largest lead of the night for Columbia City, and he does so. That's the first time the lead has been at double digits tonight. 42-32, minute 15 left in this contest. Huntington North trailing the Columbia City Eagles. Zach Nash trying to get something going. Had a three, passed up the three, faked, let the defender go by, tried to put up another one, but in a hurried fashion put that up, and it went over the rim, no good. The rebound came down to Columbia City. Jump ball on the rebound. Levi McElhaney trying to fight for it. Fortunately, no foul call. McElhaney's playing with 4 fouls right now, but a jump ball gives the ball back to Columbia City at the moment. So Andrew Hedrick, top of the key, working against Zach Nash. Gets it over to Rhett Wilson. Wilson being guarded by McElhaney, trying to wall up to use that midcourt, and a steal by Zach Nash. Goes to the basket, and he's fouled pretty hard by Hedrick. Misses the shot, but he'll have 2 free throws coming. Excuse me, that foul was by Rhett Wilson. So Zach Nash with 2 to try to cut into this Columbia City lead. 41 ticks left in this contest. Nash's first free throw is good. He's got one more coming. 41.6 left in the contest. Huntington North trailing Columbia City in this Northeast 8 matchup. Second one is good, making the score 42-34. And that leads to a Craig Teagle timeout. Just going to be a 30-second one, so we'll keep it here. As we said earlier, Huntington North wants to steal this one from Columbia City, because Columbia City, part of a 3-way tie at the top of the standings in the Northeast 8 Conference. Norwell, Columbia City, and New Haven all sitting pretty at 2-0. Leo and Huntington North jammed in the middle at 1-1 each, and then Belmont, East Noble, and DeKalb are all 3 down near the bottom at 0-2 in conference play. So Columbia City hasn't broken their huddle yet, but it looks like Huntington North is ready to go for the final 41 seconds of this one. Looks like Rhett Wilson's going to be inbounding for Columbia City. And looks like Fuller is going to be the long pass if they want that. Wilson gets it in to Hogue. And say Vikings really scrambling, trying to create some disarray for Columbia City, but not able to get away with anything without fouling. And Levi McElhaney picks up his 5th foul as Andrew Hedrick was going to the rack. So that's going to send McElhaney to the sideline. And Tyler Carr comes in to replace him under the basket. And Andrew Hedrick at the free throw line. He made his last 2, makes the first of these ones. Hedrick has 1 more coming. Eyes his second one, lets it go, and that one also good. Stretches the Columbia City lead back out to 10 at 44-34. 25 seconds left in this contest, so the Vikings right now just trying to maybe get this lead down to single digits. Doesn't look like they're going to come away with the NE8 victory, but just trying to grab what they can at the end of this contest. Foul on the rebound. Foul called on Rhett Wilson. That's his 2nd, team 6th. So inbounded by Hostler for Huntington North. Chipchowski out on the left wing, gets at the top of the key to Ethan Zahn. Now a 3-pointer by Hostler as an air ball right into the hands of Stratton Fuller, and Fuller is just going to dribble this one out. So the Huntington North Vikings fall to the Columbia City Eagles by a score of 44-34 here at North Arena. We'll be back after this break to recap some post-game stats and then eventually get an interview with Huntington North head coach Craig Teagle. You're listening to Huntington North Vikings boys basketball on Viking Radio 91.9 WVSH, brought to you by First Federal Savings Bank, Bippa State Bank, and we'll be back after this break.
Let's be honest. The National Symphony may not be in his future, but he wanted to try violin. So you said yes because you love him. And if you love him that much, love him enough to make sure he's buckled up and in the back seat. Find out more about keeping your kids safe in your vehicle at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat. Show him you love him. Keep him safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
1 in 3 adults has prediabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your football buddy, your football buddy, or you, your best man, your worst man, you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes with early...
We see highs in the upper 50s maybe before we go into the next week.
All right, so let's finish this.
I'm Zach Krager, I'm just here.
He's our guest today.
The sounds of a dinner that almost didn't happen. A dinner now served thanks to people like you. Due to COVID-19, 17 million more Americans may face hunger. Feeding America is helping our neighbors in need. And if you're able, you can too. Donations are being accepted at feedingamerica.org/coronavirus. Brought to you by the Ad Council and Feeding America. 200 food banks strong.
Back live here at North Arena. Nick Altman alongside Cameron Moore. The Huntington North Vikings just fell to Columbia City. Final score 44-34. That drops the Vikings to 4-9 on the season and 1-2 in conference play. Improves Columbia City to 9-5 and 3-0 in Northeast 8 conference play. Let's take a look at the final post-game stats. Leading the way for Huntington North, they had a pair of players with double figures. Zach Nash was 2 for 7 from the field, including 2 for 6 for threes, with 4 for 4 from the free throw line for 10 points. He also added 2 rebounds in this contest, along with a pair of assists. Also for Huntington North, Levi McElhaney, he was 5 for 6 from the field to finish the game with 10 points, and he also had a double-double with 10 rebounds to go. I guess that's it in his stat line, really. Also for Huntington North, Eric Hostler finished the game with 8 points. He was 3 for 9 from the field, 2 for 2 from the free throw line. Also added a rebound in there. Also for the Vikings, a trio of players had 2 points each. Tyler Carr knocked down a basket for 2 points. Wes Huff also was 2 for 2 from the free throw line for 2, and Asher Chipchowski was 1 for 5 from the field for 2 points. Vikings finished this game 12 for 39 from the field for 30.8%, but they were just 2 for 12 for threes for 16.7%. On the flip side of that, Columbia City, they were 7 for 23 from beyond the arc for 30.4%. And 11 for 31 from the field, 35.5%. Leading the way for them was Andrew Hedrick. He was 3 for 12 from the field, 2 for 7 for threes, and 7 for 8 from the free throw line to finish with 15 points. Cam Hogue finished with 8 points for Columbia City, and Stratton Fuller added 7 points for the Columbia City Eagles. Definitely not the way Huntington North wanted this one to go. But it just seemed they could never quite get over that hump, Cameron.
No, they really couldn't. The Eagles' shots were just falling a bit more than Huntington North's, as a 34% three percentage is pretty good for a high school team. The Huntington North Vikings shots just couldn't really fall for them. Shots they needed just weren't falling. Drive-ins weren't going in, threes weren't going in, just nothing was really going in for them. And bad turnovers didn't help either. Just need to make better decisions to keep the game alive.
Well, and I think of what you touched on there was kind of the big thing, that it wasn't that the Vikings couldn't get shots. They were getting to the basket and getting sometimes some decent looks. At times they just weren't falling. I'm not sure if sometimes they were just maybe moving too quick to get real control of it, or sometimes also the threes just weren't falling for Huntington North. As I said earlier, the Vikings were just 2 for 12 for three-pointers. Typically with Ethan Zahn and Eric Hostler and those guys, they're usually better three-point shooters than that. So just an off night for those guys, and that kind of hurts when you're going up against a team like Columbia City that likes to shoot threes and spread the floor, and just makes it difficult to keep pace when they're knocking down threes for two-pointers at the other end when that happens. So, again, the Huntington North Vikings fall to Columbia City tonight, 44-34. We'll be back with a little bit more post-game discussion and hopefully an interview with Huntington North head coach Craig Teagle. You're listening to Huntington North Vikings boys basketball on Viking Radio 91.9 WVSH, brought to you by Hartberg Roth, Garrett Halverstadt, and Garrett Law, Nove Corporation, and Z Place Pizza.
It's 4 a.m., Monday, and you're literally sucking baby snot through a tube because she's congested. Man, that's love. And if you love her that much, love her enough to make sure she's buckled in the right car seat. To make sure your child's in the right seat for their age and size, visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Show them you love them. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
These are the sounds of a dinner. A dinner that almost didn't happen. A dinner now served, thanks to people like you. Due to COVID-19, 17 million more Americans may face hunger. Feeding America is helping our neighbors in need. And if you're able, you can too. Donations are being accepted at feedingamerica.org/coronavirus. Brought to you by the Ad Council and Feeding America, 200 food banks strong.
Hey, Dad, your prescription will be ready in just a minute. Hey, Dad, your laundry will be ready in just a minute. Dad, your lunch will be ready in just a minute.
Hey, honey, why don't you take a minute? When you help care for a loved one, you give them as much time as you can. But it's just as important to take time for yourself. AARP can help. Find free care guides to support you and your loved one at aarp.org/caregiving. That's aarp.org/caregiving. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
It's time for today's STEM tip. Okay, you know recycling is important. No one wants plastic in the ocean. Here's a cool way to repurpose a plastic bottle. Build an awesome terrarium. Cut a large plastic bottle in half and fill the base with sand, pebbles, potting soil, and your favorite plant. I chose an African violet. Put the top of the bottle over your base and place it in the sun. Your plant will grow sealed in its own ecosystem. Fun, right? Learn more at She Can STEM. A message from the Ad Council.
Back live at North Arena. Nick Altman alongside Cameron Moore. The Huntington North Vikings just fell to Columbia City by a final score of 44-34. The Vikings were right there in this contest really until the fourth quarter. They got outscored 12-6 in that final score. Let's recap the game quarter by quarter. The Vikings in Columbia City, they were tied 11-11 after one. Columbia City outscored the Vikings 11-8 in that second quarter to take a 3-point lead at halftime. And in the third quarter, Vikings, again, staying right there, only outscored by the Eagles 10-9 in that third. So only down 4 going into the final quarter. They ended up getting outscored by 12-6 in the final quarter. And we're going to be joined by Huntington North head coach Craig Teagle for this after this contest. First of all, Coach, seemed like tonight, anytime you guys got something going, you just couldn't quite get over the hump to really close the gap against this Columbia City team.
Well, we were 10-28 from right around the rim. I mean, you just got to finish better. We did a poor job finishing shots around the rim, and, we got it where we wanted to, but you got to be able to knock them in. That really hurt us because it put us in position to be behind, and they're too quick and athletic. The Hedrick kid's the best point guard in the conference, and we knew once they got the lead and they spread us out, that'd be tough on us because we're not very quick. So just put ourselves in a bad position by missing too many easy shots. And then, gosh, in the first half, we went through a stretch where we gave them 6 freebie points. We didn't match up with the guy in the corner for a 3. He hits it. Very next possession, they beat us in trans, the same guy. We don't get the matchup, and then he hits the layup and we foul him. He scored 6 points right there. Just not being aware, not finding your matchup, not communicating. Down here, I know we gambled for a steal a couple times, gave up layups, things we can't do. Disappointed because that's the pace we need to play at, but we got to be able to score the ball. I thought Levi had a really good game for us. His energy level was high. It was too bad he got in foul trouble. They had problems with him when he was in the game. He could score it in the low post for us, and just so active on the boards. And a lot of times he was the only guy on the floor getting after the basketball. So too bad he was in foul trouble. That hurt us a lot.
Well, and I've talked to you before. I think a lot of those fouls were because Levi was doing what you kind of want your coach or players to do. You want them to be aggressive, and a lot of times when you're aggressive, some of those things happen.
Yeah, he was hustling, getting after the basketball, and then he got called for an illegal screen, but that really is not his fault as much as the cutter. The cutter didn't set it up and come off tight, so he had to go find the defender to screen him. So, and then we just didn't. I thought Ethan Zahn had some good looks and missed them. I thought Zach Nash had a couple that didn't go in. We also had a couple that were not good looks. We took a couple bad shots, so we didn't need to, especially late. I thought we panicked a little bit. So disappointed. I thought that was a game at home, even though they were favored to beat us. I thought it was a game that we could get if we played well, and we did some things better than we have been. I think we were right about 10 turnovers. We didn't give up a bunch of O boards. So, that was good, but didn't finish around the rim. And then defensively, we had some mismatches and didn't get to shooters in time. So,
and I know you like to get the easy baskets under the bucket, close close, high percentage shots. But even 3-point wise, there were some shots that were put up that oftentimes you guys make, especially, Ethan Zahn, Zach Nash. Those guys, they like to shoot the ball, but just couldn't get those to fall from outside. You guys finished shooting just 2 for 12 for threes.
Yeah, we did not shoot it well at all tonight, and I thought for the most part we probably had 4 or 5 bad shots, but for the most part we had good shots. We just didn't finish them. But kind of been the history of this team. Not taking care of the ball real well, and then not shooting it as well as we need to. So we gotta bounce back. We got a game Tuesday here. Canterbury's awfully athletic. They're a lot more athletic than Columbia City. It'll be a tough one for us here. They got a couple kids can shoot, and they got better size. That's one thing we knew. Columbia City's size was pretty even to ours, so we could try to at least go inside and score. It'll be a little harder Tuesday night, but we got to come back. We got to bounce back, have a good practice tomorrow, have a good one on Monday, and try to get mentally back into it and find a way to win on Tuesday.
Well, I'm going to say, you already talked about Canterbury, but also next week, getting back into conference action next weekend against Belmont.
Yeah.
You don't want to look too far ahead. But
They were 7-6 going into tonight. They played Norwell. They've played really well this year. They've got 3 junior guards that are outstanding. They're back, James Schumann, and then the coach's son. And they scored a high clip, and they played pretty good defense. And it's on the road. And I'll just be honest, since I've been here, when we went to Belmont, it's been a tough place to play. So, that'll be a tough one. But our focus is going to be on Canterbury. Hopefully we can bounce back and get back in the winning column.
All right, Coach.
Okay. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. All right, that was Huntington North head coach Craig Teagle. Again, the Huntington North Vikings fall to Columbia City tonight by a final score of 44-34. Vikings just couldn't quite get over the hump, didn't hit the shots they usually do. Coach Teagle not necessarily upset with the way the offense flowed. They got shots that they were looking for. A lot of those they just didn't finish well.
Yeah, they just couldn't really finish their shots this game. 2 for 12 from 3 is just not the greatest you'd like to see from your team. You would like to hit more of those shots. There's a lot of driving, getting post entries that just weren't really falling. It would have really helped if you made those shots. Free throws were pretty decent for them. They're almost 90% from
the Vikings
free
were
throw.
8 for 10 for free throws.
That's 80%. That's pretty good. Just got to finish those shots. Maybe coming into practice, try to focus on finishing them more, keep control of that ball, get it up, finish it.
All right. Well, I think that's going to wrap it up for us from North Arena. We will be back on Tuesday when the Huntington North Vikings host Fort Wayne Canterbury. Hopefully that game will be Max and Ryan back under the headsets. I know listeners had to listen to me for about 3 years while I was in high school now teaching. I try not to do this, but every once in a while you just got to fill in when you can. So it's a joy to do it. Thank you, Cameron, for filling in tonight. Ryan had some family obligations to take care of, so you filled in, and then we were able to still get this done. So thanks for tuning in to tonight's broadcast of Huntington North Vikings boys basketball. Again, the Huntington North Vikings fall to the Columbia City Eagles by a final score of 44-34. Thanks for listening tonight. For Cameron Moore, I'm Nick Altman saying we'll talk to you later.
Thank you for tuning in to tonight's broadcast of Huntington North Vikings basketball on Viking Radio 91.9 WVSH. Before we go, we'd like to thank the following sponsors one more time for making tonight's broadcast possible.
Bailey Love Mortuary, Bippus State Bank, First Federal Savings Bank, Hartberg, Roth, Garrett, Halberstadt, and Garrett Law, Nove, and Z-Place Pizza.
Be sure to tune in all season long for the fast-paced action of Vikings basketball on your Huntington North Sports Authority, Viking Radio 91.